Hey, it's Steve Cochran live from my car, and even though I'm sitting still, I'm still wearing my seatbelt. Well, you can't be too safe. Just a quick introduction here to say thanks for listening to Live from my office. Check out what I'm writing on Substack, and here now, the great Kevin Matthews. My old pal Kev from the Loop Days is back to talk about his movie and his life. It's a pretty good conversation. Glad you're here for it. This is Live from my office. This is Live from my office with my old friend Kevin Matthews, live from Michigan, I'm thinking.
Yeah. In fact, I'm on Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
So
All
I'm an
right. There you
hour
go.
behind. And I had to blow off meetings to talk to you, Mr. Cochran.
Why wouldn't you do that? That would be my question. Why wouldn't you
Yeah,
blow off?
here's a couple of things I'd like to just vent. Could we
Sure,
just
go ahead.
could we be on one time zone? And could we
Yeah, exactly.
just quit with the clocks? Everybody,
I
you're
totally
on
agree.
Central Time Zone, Eastern Time Zone. I thought you were this. I thought you were that. I'm so tired of it.
Well, you've had a day from hell anyway, right? I mean, it's just midday and it's already a day from hell.
Yeah, well, I've been at this rodeo before. Don't you love people that go, "This isn't my first rodeo"? You've never been near a rodeo. Shut up.
Right. Right. You know, as a matter of fact, you and I, the only guy we know that was in a rodeo was Bonaducci.
Yeah.
And that was bring your own cow night. And he'd had one. He was ready to rock.
Hello. But no, first of all, I admire, I have a man crush on Taylor Sheridan. Oh yeah.
Yeah, real men. Not like you and me made money talking. No, he was a real man.
Every time I get a chance to go and talk in Texas, I'm slowly getting towards his ranch, the Four Sixes. So, yeah, my wife 2 years ago got me an autographed picture of Taylor. I can get it. It's right behind me. You want me to get it?
No,
Here.
I trust him, man.
No,
Sure, go ahead.
I want to see
grab
this.
it. Grab it.
I want to see this. Hang on. Just because I can. This is so cool. This is my office. I love it down here. And I don't call it a man.
Your own personal man cave.
Oh, I hate that. Any wife that says, "I'm letting my husband do his man cave," you've already got him.
Come on.
Okay, now can you see this?
Center it up a little bit. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
Sorry. It's
there you go.
there he is.
Center. There you go.
Yep. Yes.
So did he sign it?
Yeah, Taylor Sheridan. Is it wrong?
Did
What?
So you remember Dave Barry, the hilarious Dave Barry from the Miami Herald, humor writer, funny dude, funny dude.
No, but okay.
You would. You'd Google him up. You'd see his face. You'd know him. Anyway, big deal and funny.
Yeah. Okay.
And the greatest in all the people we interviewed through the years, books, right? Somebody come through with a book. Best signing of a book ever. He signs it. He's sort of giggling. We get into a break, and I go, "What'd you do?" And I open the front of the cover. It says, "Steve, fuck you, Dave Barry."
How good
is that? The
that?
greatest thing ever. The greatest.
That is awesome.
All right, let's catch up here for a second because first off, congratulations on the movie. It's fabulous.
Thank you very much. It means a lot. I'm very blessed to have that out there, and I had nothing to do with it. I didn't go to Hollywood and say, "Hey, you should make a movie about me." No, this is all. It's all God. It's amazing.
It's got a production look that's incredibly high end.
Yeah. Well. The John, the director, has done a ton. I mean, I got together with the best of the best. I mean, the best directors, the best camera people. And John, the director, the first thing he said is, "We've got to shoot this. This has got to be cinematic." And I'm glad he did because it proves how beautiful this is. And the message is a very simple and beautiful message. So I've been very blessed. I started this 6 years ago, and folks saw me speak, and a guy by the name of Eric, he owned ODB Films. He said, this could be a really interesting documentary. And it's taken us 6 years to put it all together, and it hit the big screen, and now it's streaming. on anywhere you
And
want to stream.
the reaction's been great, right?
Yeah, we got a 98. We got a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's great. That's
Hollywood,
great.
Hollywood. I love about it. Hollywood has no idea where this came from, and to watch it in a theater. What happened was I show this beautiful documentary, and then at the end of the movie, an extra part is I pray along with those that are in the theater. So what happened was I do the rosary, and I do the sorrowful mysteries at the end, which is about a 20-minute prayer, and people didn't leave the theater. And so you
That's
have
pretty cool.
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of theaters across the country were turned into a Catholic church for 20 minutes. And now
That's great.
And now it's starting to get the attention of some folks over in Rome, and it's really great.
Really cool.
It's really great.
So let's back up. Let's back up and just tell people again. You've been on with me before talking about Broken Mary, but give them the elevator pitch for the Broken Mary story.
Okay. What happened was over 10 years ago, I was at a point in my life where I just got fired from radio, and I haven't been back since. And you know what it's like. And I was diagnosed with MS, and it just, if you're going to hit the rocks, I'm up on the rocks. Okay. And I thought, I'm going to get my wife some flowers. I look up, there's no such thing as a coincidence. Okay. Seriously, folks, I look up, there's a flower shop. Thank goodness I drove in, and I'm going to get my wife some flowers. She's been through hell. And I look over at a dumpster, and on the ground, I can tell there is a statue of the Virgin Mary laying on the ground. I walk over to her, and she's covered in garbage and weeds. And I'm not a religious person. I'm Catholic, but I'm a zombie Catholic. But whatever. I said, this is wrong. And the story is, I eventually went into the flower shop. She wasn't going to sell me the statue. It's a family heirloom. And that is where my life changed. And the movie is about getting her home. And I've written 2 books on this. It's gone global. And the message is, I took her and I had her put back together, but I didn't have her painted. Her hands are missing. They still are. She's called Broken Mary. And she was blessed by a Catholic priest. And since then, the world has just opened up. And
and the interesting thing in the movie, and by the way, tell people the name of the movie so that they search it to stream it. The movie
it's called Broken Mary. Broken Mary, the story of Kevin Matthews, but it's a story about us. And during this, I mean, I'm really giving you the Reader's Digest of this.
No, I know. No, listen, I was with you when you started this, and it's an incredibly layered story. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
As you remember, I was only around for the last couple of years of the Loop, but you and I worked together for a period of time. Yeah. But I was there to hear some of the stories of the near arrests, of taking a limo from the Hancock to Water Tower Place across the street, of all the things that went on. Now, the golf outings, which you feature a story or 2 in the movie about the golf outings. I do remember one in particular where I had just come off the course with a group of sponsors, and Larry Wirt, our boss, and you were jumping in a golf cart to go out to one of the holes because Seika, the former adult film star, was posing on one of the tees, and kids had just gotten home from school, and there was an apartment building next door. How many total golf courses were you kicked off of?
10 in 10 years. 10 every year. I'd get kicked off. Larry Wirtz, our general manager, still has all the letters on how sophomoric and just, we never want you here again. The funny thing is, when we were filming Broken Mary, we shot some scenes out at Oakbrook. We got kicked out of there twice. I didn't want to go on the property, and yet we had to shoot.
Yeah, but that's the one I'm talking about. That's the course that I'm talking about.
Twice. That's twice. And Keith Magnuson started a food fight, and we broke windows, and it was crazy. You mentioned the time I took a limo from the Hancock building I had to go down to Ditka's, which is on Chestnut. It's 2 blocks away. Oh, I didn't have a limo. I took a cab. I said to the cab driver, I want to go to Ditka's. And he's thinking the one out in Oak Brook. And I go, no, just down here. And he started yelling at me. And I turned into Joe Pesci.
Sure.
And I was going to kill him, because he's a cab driver. You got to take me. I'll never forget that. And, you look back at those years, and they were just wonderful years with Michael Jordan winning so many championships. The Blackhawks are taking off. Oprah's in town.
Everything was clicking. Everything was hitting. But the cool thing you've done in this movie, Kev, is you're able to tell your life story, and people think all those guys at the Loop, and me included, we're just living life, man. It couldn't get any better than this. This is the Beatles. This is the Beatles on the radio. It's as big as it gets. But the thing is, what you show in this movie is the narrative that even though you were killing it, there's nobody better than you. You owned it. That wasn't about happiness. That wasn't about fulfillment. And this juxtaposition against that, the end of the radio career for you, and Broken Mary, I think it's a nice way you weave the story in to talk about the two Kevins.
God. Well, I think also the big weave is I talk about God. And that frightens Hollywood to the core. And I'm cutting to the chase because when I went over to the dumpster and I'm looking down at this statue and she's looking up at me, I literally heard the voice of God say, will you deny me? Will you deny my mother? And I went, where'd this come from? And then I went inside the flower shop. I'm all by myself. Lady says, can I help you? And I said, I want to buy that statue. And she goes, oh, no, it's a family heirloom. And then I hear the voice again, will you deny me? Will you deny my mother? And for the first time in a long time, again, I'm a zombie Catholic. I just closed my eyes quickly and said, God, help me. I prayed. And I got the statue. And it's now 11 years later. The statue is known globally. And the bottom line is, had I just walked away and said, okay, buy my wife some flowers and leave, if I would have left that statue, Steve, there is no question I would be dead and in hell right now. There's no question. Yeah. We all make a choice. And that's what I love about God. He gives us free will. You do whatever you want. And thank goodness I got up on, no, I'm not going to deny you. And I'm certainly not going to deny your mother. But
now, you make a great point, because when you hit that fork in the road, you went the right way.
Thank goodness I did, because, I look at it, my second book I call Mary's Roadie. That's what I am. I am no prophet or I'm no saint. Nope. I tell people I'm God's sheepdog. And when lambs get strayed and they move towards me, I move them back, and I don't bark, I don't bite, I just move them back. That's my role in all of this. And so I'm not, a Jimmy Swagger.
Okay, now let me ask you something, because no, of course not. But let me ask you about this, because when we first met, I followed you in St. Louis. You come to Chicago to do the Loop. Mm-hmm. I come to Chicago a few years later. We crossed paths. We were pals. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know how much I always respected you and your show and all that. But at no time did I ever walk down the halls of the Loop or anywhere else we might have been and went, well, Kev, there's a biblical scholar. So were you the hobby Catholic? Were you the lapsed Catholic who would go, Easter and Christmas? No, or did you read the Bible? And did you know stuff?
No, I mean, I was born Catholic. I'm Irish Catholic. And and my grandfather, I had two grandfathers. I had one who was an Irish cop, very Catholic. And then I had another grandfather who was in the KKK. So there's good and evil. Thank goodness I was attracted to the Irish, who, by the way, us Irish, we got crosses burned on our property too because of the KKK. So what's ironic is my grandfather, who's in the KKK, is setting fire to my grandfather, who's from Ireland. It's a lesson learned. And so I made sure that my kids did the sacraments, and I went to church. And then, I did a fundraiser for a church out in the western suburbs, and I found out that they were embezzling money. And what happened is it opened a door so I could leave the church. Oh, great. I raise all this money and they're embezzling it. I'm out.
Right. I'm out.
And I'm out. And so many people do that today. Oh, well, the priest, I don't like this because you know what they do to kids and da da da, any of these excuses, and I'm out. And and it's funny how I came back in because I absolutely love what I'm doing right now because there's purpose to it. I work for God, and I don't know if I'm getting into heaven. I'd like to, but what I love about it, once I was in church, they auctioned me off to be an altar boy. Okay, they did.
Okay.
It's in my book. They auctioned me off because it was all this money's going to go to the Catholic school, and they needed 2,000 to hit their goal. Kevin, will you be an altar boy? I said, sure. So I earned 2,000. They make their goal, and I'm coming down the aisle dressed as an altar boy with these little kids, and people are looking, look at this idiot coming down. Who's this big dope? And I'm sitting up on the altar, and Father Mark's doing mass. And I'll never forget, I'm out of radio. I'm doing some stuff with Steve Dalton podcasting, but for the most part, I've got this statue now that's been blessed. I'm an altar boy. I'm sitting on the altar. And I remember going, you know what, God, if I work for you, I'm never going to get fired. The benefits are for eternity. All this plus, 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 plus. You know what? I want to work for you because I'm sick of radio and all the people that fired me and everything. I'm working for you. So here I am 11 years later, and I just compare myself to a shepherd dog. And that's it. That's all I do is these little lambs that come, I say, let's get you back to the shepherd of shepherds. And I don't bite. I don't tell people, it's not fire and brimstone when you see me talk and stuff like that. And I love what I do.
Well, God bless you for that. And, I say a prayer daily for God to show me the lights on the path that you've laid out for me and to make them bright enough so I'm smart enough to follow them.
Yeah.
And it helps me. So whatever you find in your life, get closer to your God because you're going to live a better life for it. Right. But I have to ask, I haven't talked to your wife in years. I love your wife, and
Deb, she's great.
The stuff she's put up with, and the Purple Heart she's received from being married to you for all these years. Deb, what was her reaction when you first told her this is who I want to be, and as this developed?
Probably, here's another thing. But she's always been, I think all of our wives, Janet Dahl, Donna Bonaducci, Larry Word, come on, we all had wives, and they are true little angels, and
yeah, my wife Maureen, same deal.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So but we didn't, I compare myself a lot to Chris Farley. I just got laughs, and Chris went too far, though, of course. And we didn't murder people. We were a high school with money, and our bosses were immature, just like us. I never got yelled at by Larry Word or Jimmy DeCastro. They just signed the checks to the FCC. They didn't care.
I distinctly remember one day coming in, and may have been Larry. I think it was Jimmy. You had done something. And the explanation was, I said, what did he do? And I'm half laughing in the hallway. And you came out and said, yeah, Jimmy doesn't want to talk about that, and walked away.
Yeah.
So you're Jimmy.
Jim Shorts, one time a radio station offered me to come and to their, city. And I went, and all these people around this desk, we really want you. And I go, I really want it. I like it here, but I talked to Jim and he doesn't want any part of it. So I got to say no. And these people left thinking he's a psychopath, but when it's all said and done, Steve, I'm here. I've really lived life, man. I've done everything I've ever wanted to do, from hanging out with Indians to I traveled around the world. I've lived life,
And
and
you're serving, and now you're serving and you're
oh,
giving back and
and
you're doing it
it's
every day. So
every
are
day.
you, I know Broken Mary travels with you,
Yeah.
but are you still speaking at churches all the time?
Yeah. Yeah. Churches, men's organizations, women's organizations, and people can go to brokenmary.com,
Mm-hmm.
brokenmary.com and book me. And yeah, I'm getting ready to go. I mean, I was in 5 states in 2 weeks last spring, and then the summer opens up. I'm going to go to Rome. I'm going to France. I've been invited to come to Australia. And, I just, every time I think, okay, it's slowing down, it's like I go, Mary, are we done? And the phone rings. I know she is having so much
Right.
fun with me. It's just the phone rings all the time. The phone rings, the phone rings, the phone. And I love it. I'm Mary's roadie. And, when I first started doing this, I remember I talked at a church once, Father Mark, when I found the statue, I put her together, a monument maker put her together, and I just kept her broken. And I said, we're all broken, but we're loved by God. And Father Mark, who was the priest that really got me back into church, said, I love that. That's a beautiful homily. I'll start the homilies for the 7:30, the 10, the 11:30 mass. And you come bring the statue and tell them, the parishioners, how you found the statue. And in the message, I kept her broken because we're all broken. We're loved by God. I'm thinking, I've done stand up. How hard is a church?
Sure.
Right?
You and I did
Well,
shows together, right?
but that's the first time okay, wait, I'm going to church now with this statue, and I'm going to be talking about the Mother of God. That's when I got scared. I'm like, oh my,
That's big.
what have I done? What am I getting myself into? And I'll never forget that time, those 3 masses. At the end of each talk, I'm ready to say thank you, and I hear Christ again say a Hail Mary to my mother. And I had to do that.
Oh,
And I had all 3 masses. I was ready to go home and not do the 11:30. And I said, Father Mark, I'm dying up here. And he said, Kevin, turn around. There were people kneeling on their knees in front of this beautiful statue because it's so relatable. We're all broken, but we're loved by God. I'm going to be going to Rome soon. And the Pope is going to bless the statue. I mean,
Kev, the idea that the Chicago Pope
yeah,
is going to meet with you, I love that so much. I
it,
love the fact that you and the Pope could get together, a couple of
Steve,
Chicago guys.
Steve, when the Pope became the Pope, my phone blew up going, Pope Leo, he's got to be a Kev head. He grew up on the South Side. He heard everything. He loves Jim Shorts. He knows Johnny Brandmeier. He's got to be. And I didn't ask to come see the Pope. It's all happening on its own. And if the Pope turns to me and goes, that's God, I'll die, And I look at the Pope, and he's a White Sox fan, and they need a miracle. I think I'm witnessing every game of the Bears. How are they going to win this game? And I see these
Right,
images
right,
on
right.
social media of the Pope. The coach, there's Ben Johnson. Hey, Pope, can you help? And he goes, I'll see what I can do. And they win.
Right,
It's
right,
just,
right.
I think that's what religion should be. Fun.
Listen, if you can't have fun with the most important thing
Yeah.
in the world and the most
Yeah.
important thing in your life, you're missing the boat. Now, I will
Yeah.
say this: when you go to Rome,
Mm-hmm.
somehow, some way, you got to find an old Loop T-shirt, an old
Oh,
Loop koozie or something, because I would hate to have you meet with Pope Leo and have him go, you guys never sent me the shirt I won.
well,
You know?
I can. I'm hoping he goes. If he goes, yeah, I know who you are. I'll say I've been to confession many, 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 many times since then, Father. So
Right.
I'm just so blessed to have such a beautiful time now in my life where, it's words getting around. I have these rosary apps that you can download and hear me recite the rosary for free. They've been downloaded over 2 million times.
Wow.
Hundreds of thousands of people living in the Philippines have downloaded. I could go to the Philippines right now because they are so Catholic and they love our Blessed Mother so much. And who knows, anything's possible. So
let me ask you this, because you look great, and
thanks.
You've had the health issue for a while.
Yep.
What's the status? Because you're running like crazy.
Oh, I am.
I mean, how are you able to do it and stay on the right side of health?
Steve, this has been happening in me. I have met so many people, so many beautiful priests along the way that God's put them in my path. I met one in New Jersey, and you should see my phone right now. I can open my phone and go look under F, and you see it's all fathers. I mean, it's just I have so many priests that I've known, and I have MS. I was diagnosed with MS. And what I tell people is God does not give us diseases. God does not give children cancer. God does not cause a flood. God does not cause fires. God is love.
Right.
Okay, folks. God didn't give me MS because I went to a strip club or I had Seika at one of my golf outings. I got it because of the environment we live in. And I had this priest in New Jersey, and I've had, KevHeads come up to me and they go, hey, when I first got MS, I had so many people go, I have a friend who has an aunt who knows a guy who, my aunt, you should really get stung by bees. It's a new kind of treatment. And I'm thinking, why would I want to get stung by bees? Or, I have a friend whose mom died from MS. Oh, thanks.
Right.
Or Kevin, you've got the good MS. What the good MS? Or they go, Kevin, you should really smoke pot. You should smoke pot. And I go, well, then I'll be high with MS.
Right.
And what I am blessed to have MS. I am. I look at it, I'm blessed to have MS because when all these people come up to this statue of our Blessed Mother, some are in wheelchairs, they can't move, they're blind, they can't hear, they can't. And this priest in New Jersey, I love him because he's born in New Jersey. And he goes, Kevin, think of your MS as your stigmata. If you are familiar with like Pope or Saint Pio, Padre Pio, he had the stigmata in his hands. Are you familiar with that, Steve?
Yeah.
Padre Pio, where the same wounds as Christ, the hands, the feet.
Yeah, the nails.
And it's amazing when he had this during his priesthood, the day he died, the stigmata went away. But, he had bandages because they bled. And this priest said to me, he goes, Kevin, take that, your MS is your stigmata, and offer all the pain and suffering that you suffer with and give it to God as a gift for the conversion of sinners. Before I was on the phone with a lady from Maryland. She wants me to come and speak, and she has MS. And and she's, stem cell and all that, and you should try it. And I'm like, okay. She goes, will you pray for me? Because I'm having stem cell. Of course I'll pray for you. But I also said, I had a priest in New Jersey tell me that I can use my MS as a stigmata. And when you're sore and you're beat up and you can hardly walk, just give
it up to God.
Take it. Say, Jesus, I give you this pain I'm suffering for the conversion of sinners. That is one of the greatest gifts we can give God. And this woman heard that, and she was so emotional. She said, that is so beautiful. And I know so many saints, regular people that became saints, and they did that. You look at Bernadette Subaru from Lourdes. She suffered horribly. There are so many people that suffer or have it worse than I do. And I just think of them. I think of them, Steve. I'm very blessed to be where I'm at right now.
Listen, every time you feel sorry for yourself in life, not just you, all of us, give it about 3 minutes and God will put somebody in front of you who has it much worse than you do.
Trust me, yeah.
Who needs you to pray for them. Those God moments happen every day.
Always.
Listen, man, I'm thrilled for you. I really am. And I think about where we all came from to what you're doing now. It's one of the great transitions ever.
Yeah.
So I know the business well enough too to know that when you have a hit movie, They're going to want a sequel.
Well,
so how do you do that?
Honestly, I think what I've got to do is there's some stuff that's happening that will be able to extend this story globally. And I've got some stuff in the works that I think are going to revolutionize the way people are being introduced to God. One of the most encouraging things is the young people. There was a conference in Dallas just a week ago, and over 100,000, like 18 to 22-year-olds, Catholics, went to confession.
Holy cow. I hope they had more than one priest.
Oh, they did. But, I'll tell you what, the one person that I think really lit a fuse on spirituality was Charlie Kirk. And, Charlie was on the verge of becoming Catholic. And when he was shot, I said to myself, he's Catholic now. And, I just think that it's amazing to watch life go by on this earth. And, I look and I could be so discouraged about what's happening in the world. But what saves me every time I think of that is that God wins. This 100%. isn't a fictitious story. God is coming back. And if I'm blessed.
And thank God it's not a fair fight. Thank God that we don't have a chance to ultimately defeat God.
I think that a lot of people are going to wake up. Are you ready for that day? And if I live to see that day, that is going to be an awesome day, and I think people ought to prepare for that because, I don't care what you've done in your life. You can be forgiven if you ask. And I mean, look at the thief on the cross. This guy wasn't baptized. This guy, he turns, he goes, Jesus, I belong here. You don't. Will you remember me? That's the first saint ever on the world was Amos. His name was Amos. He was a murderer. He deserved to die, but he said, will you remember me? Will you forgive me? And he did.
Well, sincere acceptance and forgiveness is the key to the door. That unlocks everything.
Yeah. And remember, God's got this. I love to, all of a sudden, if people telling me what I should do or you shouldn't do this, I've been told I'm going to go to hell because I love Mary too much. And oh yeah. Well, that's nice. You realize Jesus, her son's listening to you.
You could pull a muscle with that stretch.
Well, what I like is, all the time. Oh, you're a Satan worshiper. You're going to go to hell. You got this and this.
Wow.
I was hanging out with, he became my grandfather. He was Iroquois Indian, Santa. I love Santa. He became my grandfather. People would say the same thing to Santa. Santa, they would complain to him. You got to do this. We got to do this. We got to do this. And he would pretend that his flip phone was ringing, and he'd get it out and he'd open it up. And he goes, I just got a phone call. I just got a text message from God. He says you can take the day off. Boom.
That's a solid bit. That works.
You know what I'm saying? Folks, there's something bigger than you out there. And, be humble. Be humble, be happy. Be nice.
Well, listen,
be
bud,
nice.
I am very, very happy for you.
Thanks.
BrokenMary.com.
Thanks.
I got great memories of the old days and my best to your family.
Thank you.
And let's do this again.
And people follow me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm coming to speak in Chicago in March, and I'll let people know. But if you want me to come and speak, I love that. Just go to brokenmary.com, and I'll come back from Rome, and I'll see how things went, okay?
And when you get back from Rome, you got to come on with me because I got to know.
I promise you.
I got to know.
All right, Steve.
I got to know.
You take care, buddy. It's good to see you again. Okay, you hang in.
Yeah,
there.
You too. Broken Mary the movie. Stream it. Go see it.
Thank you.
I love you. Be better for it. Love you, buddy.
Thanks for listening to Live from My Office. This is actually an Anything But Politics episode where we didn't talk politics. We just talked about Kev and about the fork in the road in his life where he took the path maybe less traveled at the time that turned out to be the right path for him. Get closer to the God in your life And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. We'll be back with more next time. Thanks to Ross Cochran, the executive producer, and me. I'm your pal Steve, and this is Live from My Office.